Detective Daniel Deer was the most unusual investigator in Greenwood Forest. While other deer were known for their keen eyesight, Daniel could barely see past his nose. But what he lacked in vision, he made up for with his extraordinary sense of smell, remarkable hearing, and brilliant deduction skills. His trusted partner was Maggie the Magpie, a sharp-eyed bird who acted as his eyes in the sky. Together, they formed the forest's first detective agency, Deer and Bird Investigations. Another case, Detective Daniel. Maggie swooped down one morning, barely containing her excitement. Mrs. Hedgehog's prized flower collection has vanished overnight. Daniel twitched his ears thoughtfully. Interesting. Lead the way, Maggie, and describe everything you see. At the crime scene, while Maggie circled overhead reporting visual details, Daniel used his other senses to investigate. His sensitive nose detected traces of morning dew disturbed. His ears picked up the faintest rustle of leaves. His whiskers felt unusual. Air patterns. The flowers weren't stolen, Daniel announced, after careful consideration. They were moved. He explained his reasoning. I smell rabbit fur, fresh carrot bits, and newly dug earth. Young Peter Rabbit has been practicing his gardening skills and thought he was helping by reorganizing the flower bed. Sure enough, they found Mrs. Hedgehog's flowers carefully replanted behind her house, arranged by color, Peter's attempt at garden design. Word spread about the deer detective who solved mysteries without seeing them. Soon, Daniel and Maggie were busy with all sorts of cases. The case of the missing honey. Daniel's nose detected bee traces leading to a new hive location. The mystery of the midnight music. His exceptional hearing identified a family of crickets who had moved into an old log. The puzzle of the disappearing nuts. Maggie's aerial view, combined with Daniel's sense of smell, revealed a forgetful squirrel who kept making new hiding spots. Their biggest case was the Great Shadow Mystery. Animals reported a huge, scary shadow appearing and disappearing randomly in the forest. While everyone panicked, Daniel remained calm. Maggie, what do you see from above? Just old oak's branches moving in the wind, she reported. Daniel's ears detected the wind pattern, his nose caught the morning mist, and his whiskers felt the air movement. The shadow is simply morning fog passing through old oak's branches, he declared. When the sun hits it at just the right angle, it creates scary-looking shadows. To help prevent future panic, Daniel and Maggie created the Forest Phenomenon Guide, explaining common mysteries. Strange nighttime noises, usually owl families, disappearing footprints, rain and wind effects, moving branches, squirrel highways, unusual smells, mushroom growth cycles. Daniel taught young animals to use all their senses. Eyes can be fooled, but when you combine all your senses with careful thinking, you'll find the truth. He even started a detective school, teaching others how to listen for clues in the wind, smell different types of moss, feel vibrations in the ground, think logically about evidence. Maggie would often say, Daniel doesn't need perfect eyesight, he sees with his brain. As their reputation grew, animals came from distant forests to consult the famous detective deer, who proved that limitations could become strengths. Daniel showed everyone that what might seem like a weakness could become your greatest advantage if you learn to adapt and trust your other abilities. And so, Detective Daniel Deer and Maggie the Magpie continued solving mysteries, proving that the best detective work happens when you look beyond the obvious and use all your senses to uncover the truth.